My favorite Toho character has always been Suika Ibuki. For the first 10 years, I didn't know who Suika Ibuki was. Now I know. She is a Toho character. Toho is a massive franchise that's been going on for decades at this point. If I wanted to learn more about this waifu, how was I supposed to do that? But actually, Toho is not the only giant impenetrable franchise. How is anybody supposed to get into anything that's been going on for that long? Maybe you don't know anything about the Elder Scrolls, but you see my videos and somehow decide from them that you want to get into the series, but don't know where to start. Maybe you want to get into Sonic the Hedgehog, because you dodged that bullet for the past 35 years, but now you think it's about time to get shot. Maybe you want to get into, God forbid, DC or Marvel. I don't recommend those, but you do you. My journey into Toho is applicable to any massive long-running franchise, and it's for that reason I'm making this video. Also because now I love Toho and just want to talk about it. My first real, cognizant entry into the Toho project was an old YouTube video called Toho 101, an introduction to Tohoism by JT Sexkick. I didn't know who this person was, I still don't really. I didn't know what Toho was at the time, it was just a video and I don't remember how I found it. But I watched it and I absorbed only 4 things. 1. Toho is a series of shoot-'em-up games featuring anime girls instead of robots or ships. 2. There are approximately a bajillion Toho characters. 3. All the girls have a head decoration, because if they don't, they will die. 4. Suika likes to get shit-faced and come home and beat her wife and kids, and this is relatable. Going in order, I'm actually a general fan of shoot-'em-ups. I'm not like insane. There are of course people out there who've played hundreds of these things, but I've only played like dozens, and I've definitely not beaten dozens properly. So Toho starring a bunch of anime girls didn't surprise me even at that time. There's a subgenre of shoot-'em-ups called cute-'em-ups, in which the protagonist is usually an anime girl shooting cute things like toys or candy. Notable cute-'em-ups would be the Cotton series, KO Flying Squadron, Magical Chase, Harmful Park, and Mushihime-sama. In fact, I've played all of these, though I've only played Panorama Cotton of the Cotton series. Moving on, there are approximately a bajillion Pokemon, so the number of characters wasn't too surprising. If anything, the number made me even less self-conscious than I already was about having a favorite girl from a game series I'd never played. There are plenty of people who like a Pokemon without ever playing a Pokemon game. Number 3 was a product of this image being in the video, which made me laugh so hard that it etched itself into my memory. Of course, the only thing I remembered was this line right here, which still cracks me up. Kinda reminds me of the image about anime girl hair vents. I also remembered more distinctly from this video the nomenclature of diaper head. To this day I still occasionally call Tohos diaper heads. And finally, the true punchline. The idea that Suika likes to get drunk and beat her wife and children was so absurd that I remembered the joke, remembered the name, and thus, Suika is my favorite Toho by virtue of being the only Toho I could remember. I didn't remember Yukari, whose power didn't stick out to me at the time. I didn't remember Komachi, because lots of anime girls have nice boobs. I remembered Suika. Also, Suika was easy for me to remember because Suika is watermelon. I mean, the sounds in English are. Suika's name kanji aren't watermelon at all. The point that you should draw from this anecdote is that inspiration to investigate can come from anywhere. In my case, I first heard of Toho from some funny video in which I learned basically zero useful information. After that, I pretty much never thought about Toho again until I saw Neryl's Metrovania Mega Review Part 2, where he reviewed Toho Luna Nights. It looked really fun. I like Metroidvanias. For Toho Luna Nights, I liked the cute pixel art style. It was animated really lively with everybody bouncing as they stood, and it was short and had puzzles in it. So I got it and played it. I have a Let's Play of it up on this channel, though it's got that Sonic Adventure 2 style of audio mixing where I knew even less about what I'm doing than I currently do. More to the point, having no previous information on Toho besides Suika beating her wife, I learned a lot from Toho Luna Nights, but with massive gaps in context. Sakuya Izuyoi, the protagonist of Toho Luna Nights, is a maid with time powers who throws knives as her weapon of choice. She serves Romelia Scarlet, who's a vampire. Romelia Scarlet lives in the Scarlet Devil Mansion and has a little sister named Flandre. There's some other characters too. I connected the name Patchouli to the Minecraft library. since I used to play a lot of modded Minecraft by myself, like a loser. I remembered Cirno because I didn't know how to pronounce her name and had to look it up. I looked up Reimu and learned she was actually the main protagonist of the series. I had no idea who Marisa was at all. I actually thought at the time she must be a maid because she wears black and white and looks like she's wearing an apron. I also came away from the game thinking Nitori Kawashiro was like a super important character. I should also mention briefly that my first real attempt at getting into Toho was playing a bit of highly responsive to prayers. That would be Toho 1 for the PC-98. But I don't remember when or why I did this, and I didn't and still don't remember anything about it other than the gameplay was weird. Likely, I wanted to start from the beginning, but this was clearly a mistake. Touhou Luna Nights got me interested in Toho, whereas the first Toho game, highly responsive to prayers, sits as this weird anomaly in my head that engendered zero interest of the franchise in me. All it did was let me notice that Touhou Luna Nights' Reimu boss was based somewhat on it. Toho 1 sounds like the official starting point, but actually it's more like a historical curiosity only useful for somebody already into the franchise who wants to see where it all began, like a first draft of a painting. Touhou Luna Nights might not be an official game, but it was a good game, in a genre I already liked, presented in an aesthetically pleasing way. For me, it was a great entry point. For other people, maybe it'd be one of the bajillion doujin comics. Maybe it'd be all the fan art, or fan fiction, or some other fan game. There's a lot of them. I'm currently toying around with Toho Farming Minoriko's Homestead Harvest, which isn't even the first Toho farming sim fan game. Whatever actually interests you, if the media franchise is already large, there's probably some path into it that will hook you, and it's fine if it's not official or the main series itself. About 6 months ago, I decided I was going to actively, not passively, get into Toho. I ended up starting with TV tropes. Now, this is weird because I didn't even know it was TV tropes at the time. I must have been in a rush or blocked it out of my mind because TV tropes kinda sucks. But it was definitely the TV Tropes Toho project page that was my first delve into the series for its own sake. Obviously what I learned from this page was a bunch of memes. Icicle Fall Easy, the idea that Reimu is so poor she has to eat grass. Cirno is the strongest 9-ball baka, Sakuya's breast pads, and the Scarlet Devil Mansion always exploding are just a small number of random fandom jokes I learned about before learning anything real about the franchise. More fan content continued to be my primary avenue for exploration, as I watched a lot of music videos like Cirno's Perfect Math Class, the 9th anniversary of Cirno's Perfect Math Class, and what felt like a million of these short animations by YouTube channel Mirae Somang. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. I also want to deliberately shout out Toho Red Mist Episode 1 animation by Russ Mars 2. It is so jammed-packed with not just Toho-related jokes, but jokes in general. One day, maybe, we'll get an episode 2. All this fan stuff felt really fulfilling to look at, since they used the fan jokes I just learned about. I may not have known why Cirno was associated with the number 9 and stupidity, or what Icicle Fall Easy actually was, but I could have watched Cirno's Perfect Math Class and get the joke that was happening here. Heck, one of the most recent Mirae Songbang videos involved the Scarlet Devil Mansion exploding at the beginning of the animation, whereas the joke is usually that the Scarlet Devil Mansion explodes as the punchline. Had I not previously known the joke, the entire video wouldn't make sense. Even with all this meme stuff, I still would not have considered myself a Toho fan, and I doubt anybody else would have thought me one either. Being a fan of something can be weird sometimes. The truth of the matter is that you need to know what you don't know and be okay with that. In fact, knowing what you don't know is the guidepost to learn more. For example, it took me months post 9-ball awareness to actually see this image from the Phantasmagoria Flower View manual that started it all. Even though I knew Cirno was 9, or Q as they say in glorious Nihongo, this image made me laugh. This image labels the things on the screen, like your lives and your character, and then deliberately labels Cirno as idiot. That's funny. Now I knew even more about Cirno and why her fan interpretation is as it is. So let's talk about the other thing all this meme diving revealed to me. Turns out I'd witnessed tons of Toho stuff without even knowing it. I'd seen Marisa Stole the Precious Thing before, when it was new and just a flash animation. I'd seen Yukuris before as their own separate thing. And of course... I'd also seen Bad Apple without associating it with Toho at all. It made no impression on me until after I knew something about Toho. I'd also seen the We Are Japanese Goblin thing, or as it's actually called, Saigetsu Kokoto Satsuki ga Tenkomori Sagyo Bogai Remix. Or in English, Broken Moon, Koko and Satsuki ga Tenkomori's Work Destruction Remix. It's a vocal remix of Suika's theme from Immaterial and Missing Power, which is Toho 7.5 and Suika's debut game. Ironically, my first interaction with it was HoloLive VTuber's Shirokami Fubuki's short cover of it, which meant I had no idea it was Toho related. I know I came across it sometime later as a Japanese meme, but I only acknowledged Suika and that was it. I didn't even watch the whole thing. It's funny, because now both songs I feel are deeply impactful for me, and very meaningful. Anyway, with all this meme nonsense in my head, I came across a channel called Genso Chronicle, specifically the video, Could You Survive in Gensokyo? I learned a lot from this video, and then went on to watch a bunch of other videos by this guy. I basically died of laughing at can an AI outsmart Toho fans. Specifically the part where the AI brought up Sakuya's pads in the most hilariously wrong context possible. But once again, this was only as funny as it was because I didn't need the joke explained to me. I'd already heard of Sakuya's breast pads. The fact that the AI brought them up was immediately hilarious to me without an explanation. It turns out, even if all of this was just basically random detritus and I didn't really know anything yet, it was fine. It's hard to try to learn anything through the memorization of random facts when that is all they are. In reality, most learning comes through the slow accumulation of ideas which themselves form impressions in your mind over a long enough period of time. You got to understand that you can't actually get into a media if you don't interact with the media. So armed with lots of useful secondhand information, I set myself a path. I was going to play Toho 6, and then read some official Toho manga. Setting up Toho 6 was a pain I will not elaborate on, but once it was up and running, I immediately set to playing it. Everybody talks about how difficult the Toho games are. Turns out, I'm not a super special snowflake with incredible Toho prowess. I hit the wall of difficulty at exactly the same place everybody else does, at the stage 4 boss, Patchouli. I initially started playing with Reimu A, then switched to Marisa B for Master Spark, and for her higher speed, before finally switching to Reimu B. My initial completion of the game was a fluke, based on my settings being wrong, causing the game to very slowly slow down as the game progressed. It makes that replay look like I'm amazing, but actually I suck. I still have trouble with Patchouli. In fact, I think she's harder than Sakuya, which is the boss right after her. And I still haven't actually beat Flandre. Embodiment of Scarlet Devil was definitely an experience that crystallized a ton of the miscellaneous trivia and memes I'd had in my head into a cohesive whole. And this is why everybody who wants to get into a thing needs to engage with the actual thing at some point. Now, I knew not only who Marisa was, but a bit about her personality. I thought she was a lot funnier than Reimu. Not that Reimu wasn't funny, but in general, Marisa really grew on me as a character as soon as I saw her in an actual game. Marisa is now probably my second favorite Toho character. There's a lot I could go into about why, about her deeper themes and motivations which I find relatable, and her absurdly banger of a theme song, Love Colored Master Spark from Toho 8, but I mean, just look at her. The jaundiced skin, the straw-like hair, that soulless, vacant expression. What more could you want? Marisa is very popular though. I'm almost tempted to ignore her because I'm contrarian and she's so popular, but I suppose that even I am weak to Marisa's charm. Hong Mei Ling, also known as Kurenai Misuzu, Ko Mirin, Mei Ling Hong for Americans, or simply Kyugoku, though I hear that joke is dead now and didn't even exist on the western side. Anyway, she was also a standout for me, though more because of her banter with the player characters. I also enjoyed the banter between Remilia and Reimu, where they both joked that Reimu was a murderer who killed Sakuya. I'm not going to go over every single character in Toho 6. Instead, I'll harken back to Toho Luna Nights. I have not played that game since playing Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, but even so, I can now fully appreciate how extremely well done that fan game is. I recognize all the songs and why they're used where they are. I see how they translated certain spell cards to 2D platforming. I understand how all the mechanics were translated in general, and I now have a much better understanding of who these characters are and what is going on. Except for Nitori, who I have yet to see in any official capacity. Or any capacity, really. In Toho Luna Nights, she was Flandre the whole time. I've gone on this long without mentioning the music in detail. That's because the music is just incredible. I now have a whole new level of appreciation for it. I think people really underestimate how much the context in which you hear music changes your understanding of it. Sure, people recognize the big contexts. If you're going through an especially hard or pleasant time in your life, a song can become important to you by evoking those times or helping you get through them. But this kind of thing acts in much more subtle ways too. A song in a movie you enjoy can carry appreciation it never would have if you hadn't heard it in that film at that time. Touhou 6 is a simple game, it's just a shoot 'em up that puts a large focus on attack patterns. But there's just something about it as an experience, knowing what I know now about all the characters in the setting, that makes it all really charming and interesting, and I totally get why people get completely lost in this world. These music tracks don't just stand on their own. They're also a part of the level and the boss fights, where you're given the music title and the spell card names and the character names. It all turns into a proper experience that I never would have gotten without sitting down and playing the game. I've also been reading Toho Sangetsusei and have started playing Touhou 7, Perfect Cherry Blossom. Toho Sangetsusei is an official slice-of-life comedy manga series starring the three fairies of light, Sunny Milk, Luna Child, and Star Sapphire, as they get into mischief. It gives you a different angle to look at the setting and the characters. All the games take place during incidents that need to be resolved, but Toho Sangetsusei is more reflective of basic everyday life. I've heard that Bitch Reimu is a common interpretation of her character from the games, but she's pretty chill in Toho Sangetsusei, which means she behaves differently depending on the situation, as most people do. Both this manga series and Toho 7 are expanding the cast for me. When I watch Bad Apple, I still don't recognize every character, and even some of the characters I do recognize I don't know anything about, but slowly, I'll learn all of them. So, Marisa grew on me enough that I went back and actively considered if Suika is still my favorite, or if I should consider Marisa to be. I read about her debut game story, her powers, read about how she fits in with the other Oni characters, and then went back and actually listened to what I'm going to call the Broken Moon Work Destruction remix. So yeah, turns out, I love Suika, and she is absolutely my favorite Toho. And it's amazing to me that my appreciation of her started from a completely random offhand joke from some guy who probably thought nothing of it at the time. But actually, this seems pretty common. A character or theme or motif can just grab you, and you don't even know why. An investigation is likely to only deepen your appreciation, rather than overturn it. This is how you know you've become a real fan, when you know enough that not only can you talk about the thing, but you find enjoyment in doing so and sharing it with others. Gensokyo is, at least for me, a world that feels as if it's real, that's fleshed out and close enough to our own world to understand, but open enough to be magical and have space to imagine your own place in it. The characters are both archetypal and personal enough that learning about them is like getting to know them. I look forward to getting to know them more as time goes on. There's still a lot of them to get to know. That's the good thing about massive media franchises. They can be overwhelming to get into, but once you're in, you see just how much there is to explore. So, what does the future hold for me in Toho? In general, I will continue to play through the entire series and read all the manga and listen to all the CDs and consume all the Toho. And I'm so lucky I did all this before the Toho 6 remake was announced. Now I can enjoy the game again, without having to worry about losing out on the original experience. It's like having read the book before the movie is announced. As to the channel though, I might make more Toho videos way down the line, I don't know. I want to give an explicit shout out to YouTube channel ViddyWell, who makes piano arrangements of various video game tracks, mostly Toho, and plays them while cosplaying. He is absolutely phenomenal, and I think his arrangements are some of the best on YouTube. He was kind enough to let me use his recordings as background for this video, so if you were wondering what the background piano music was, that's it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, or learned something interesting. Like and subscribe and comment and all that jazz. Tell me if you have a favorite Toho and why. Also, I have a Patreon if you want to give me money.